All right. Jimmy, are you ready to go? We do not have our theme song
We have no
to
music. We're a little
for the
bit
intro.
disjointed, but Tyler, you know what? We are not. Neither one of us are in our mom's basement, so we are winning. We're grown ups. We're grown men. We do not record pods out of our mom's basement.
That
So,
bet is made, though. I did not make the
well,
bet, but it's
I,
made.
I assume you had housekeeping come in.
Of course, yeah. Housekeeping came in. There's a lot of pods that do remote, and we used to do them a little bit more, but this is probably our third or fourth pod that we have ever done remote, like me
Yeah,
and
we
you.
don't. We try not to. I think it's better in person. We live close enough. It just feels like it's smoother. It's better. I always would rather do it in person.
All right.
That's
With that said, let's
your
talk
smiling
about our
face.
incredible sponsors. Then we have a lot to talk about today. As always, everything in the pickleball business world is booming. First and foremost, we have to give a big shout out to our title sponsor of this show is Club Pickleball Mastermind. Maximize your reach, minimize your expenses. The amount of people that I've talked to recently that are opening pickleball facilities is a lot, and so many of them need to know how to operate them efficiently and profitably. Club Pickleball Mastermind tells you how to do it through real world, real life examples, and there's a lot of other business owners that are there for you to bounce ideas off of. Jimmy, any comments you want to add with Club Pickleball Mastermind?
No, I mean we just had a massive MLP event at an independent pickleball facility, right?
Yeah, we'll
And
get into
yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure. But those are the people that you want to learn from. Those are the people that they've made mistakes along the way. For those that don't know, just to give you like an example, St. Pete, which by all intents and purposes is a phenomenal facility, but it was supposed to host an MLP event last year, but they overestimated and underestimated some time frames, and some things weren't worked out, and they had to make some changes, and they made some mistakes, and those are all things that can be avoided by going to Club Pickleball Mastermind.
Exactly. The next one is August 12th through the 14th. As I've said multiple times, Jimmy and myself may or may not be there. We've been in attendance in the past. It's a lot of fun. Go check them out. They do free phone calls. So if you're questioning, if you're not quite sure if it's a good fit for you, reach out to them. All their info is on the website and in the description down below. Thank you for the support. Also, Pickler Universe. We talk about them almost every single time. They are incredible. It is confirmed that they will be hosting the MLP playoffs back in Carrollton. So that's initially where the first opener was this year.
Yeah.
How stoked are you for that, Jimmy?
Yeah, I'm pumped up. Obviously, I hope the Bears are there, but either way, if you're going to host the playoffs, you need it at the best facilities in the country, and there's not a better facility out there than the Pickler Universe. Obviously, the mezzanine level, the viewing, and we'll get into MLP this week, but the Pickler Universe has some massive advantages. Um, and one of them, Tyler, is they have permanent surface, right? There's no rollout. We're not using rollout courts at Pickler Universe. The viewing, it is built specifically to host pro pickleball events. Like they've
Yep.
had that in mind. We're not adding things after the fact, trying to host events. Now, I'm not saying that MLP doesn't do a great job of figuring things out, but this is a facility that's built for that. It's made for that. It's literally one of the top facilities in the country. I mean, I think I told you I was talking to Mark Moulton of the Dallas Flash, and he's like, they should host four a year. It's that good,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
not wrong.
So
So yeah,
Mark is always right, except for maybe on the trades, which we can get into.
yeah,
The Those dates will be August 7th through the 9th back at Pickler Universe. Honestly, I cannot tell you how many people I have coming up to me, and I love it because they say, I'm starting to believe more and more in your vision and what you're saying with all tournaments being indoors. I mean, I'm here in Florida, and you go outside and, dude, the weather cuts right through your clothing. It is crazy how hot these conditions are. Last but not least for now, Dominator. Dominator is the official net of the UPA Grand Slams and Major League Pickleball, where the sport's biggest moments happen. We provide premium court equipment to help players everywhere create their own moments of greatness, from basketball hoops to pickleball nets and lighting. Dominator brings the home court advantage to you. Explore more at dominatorhoop.com and use code KOTC. It works across their entire lineup of products, and we love them. Thank you for the support. Last but not least, shout out to KOTC All Access. We have over 100 members in our group. We love you guys. Thank you for the support. I had somebody reach out to me and say, hey, what is the All Access? Because they hear about it every single episode. What it is it's a way for you guys to support us directly. It's basically a subscription model where you can have 2 tiers. The first tier, I believe, is $14.99 a month, and then the second one is $4.99 a month. What it does is it gets you a little bit more content, a little bit more access to me, myself, and Jimmy, a little bit more breaking news, gossip, everything like that. Jimmy, how's your experience been in All Access?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, look, these are hardcore pickleball fans, which most of you are if you're watching this. We dive in a little bit deeper into certain subjects and topics. We've done giveaways in All Access. We've broke information. I have had quite a few people reach out and ask for the Discord link, so we should probably link that in the show notes or whatever it's called. Is that what it's called? The show notes? I don't know. The description. We'll link it.
Description.
We'll link it on. We should probably link it on our socials again too. There's other people out there that continue to copy everything that we do because they don't have an original take. But again, we are. It's really cool. It's almost like this. I don't want to use the word intimate, Tyler, but it's a very intimate group. Like we know everybody in there, like for the most part.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
Yes.
It's cool to share that passion with other pickleball sickos.
For sure. We appreciate your support. And all right, with that being said, we have.
If you're my friend and you're not in there, I hate you. Oh, wait.
Exactly. Jimmy, have you been to St. Petersburg?
I have been to St. Petersburg. I have not been to obviously the facility, but I have St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Tampa, incredible area. I would not truly one of the most beautiful parts in all the country. What are your thoughts?
First time here for myself. A little bit reminiscent of Daytona. A little bit.
Oh.
St. Pete, a little bit.
I mean, I can see that. Have you been to the beach?
There's quite a few people without homes in St. Petersburg.
Well, yes. So St. Petersburg itself has some parts. Now, I don't think they have the meth problem that Daytona does. But I do think it's a beautiful part of the country. I think I've said this before. I've vacationed in Clearwater several times, and I think Clearwater is incredible. The sand is like freaking powdered sugar. And there's a lot of good pro pickleball down there. I mean, Rachel Rohrabacher is a Tampa girl. Lane Sleeth's parents were from Tampa. I think Lane grew up in Tampa. Travis Rettenmeyer lives down there. Drew Felios.
Yeah.
Announcer, commentator extraordinaire is a Tampa guy. So
he told me to tell you hi. Drew is great. He's actually commentating next week, I believe, ESPN, the Special Olympics. He's commentating.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drew's one of the best of the best. So anyways, I think that it's a beautiful part of the country. I do want your take on the facility.
So I thought it was cool. I thought Graham, not shockingly, I like Graham. Graham's a great guy. I thought he did a great job. Honestly, I think the vibes they're going for were perfect for that area. To be honest, I actually think MLP is a little bit too big for that facility. It was 100% packed on Saturday and Sunday. And I mean, I don't think it's just equipped for that amount of people. And it's fun because it's very intimate. But with that said, it's just a little bit tight, which some people like the energy the atmosphere. But if you compare it, not trying to compare it exactly, but if you compare it to Pickler Universe, it's a little bit different there. Pickler Universe had the pull-out stands, they had the mezzanine, everything like that, and so I did think it was a great atmosphere. The court situation, you brought this up, but we've got to get it figured out. We have got to get the court situation figured out with the rollout courts. We go to these beautiful venues.
It's tough to have rollout courts at an indoor permanent venue. Like,
Yeah.
I get it, and I get that, like, where the courts are placed and where they put the stands in and all the things. I understand that there are logistical issues there, but if we're going to have it at an indoor venue that already has courts, we got to figure out a way to not put down a rollout court, especially because now you can't glue it down. It starts to come up. The more you play on it, the worse it gets. So I think those are things that they definitely need to figure out. But the venue looked amazing, and yes, it did look.
But it was cool. I mean, people love Travis. They love the Smash. They had a ton of Smash fans.
That's awesome.
It was great to see. I mean, honestly,
if you
good job to Graham.
The bottom line is, if you lived in that area, if you lived in the St. Pete area and you had a house, you would join that club. Like, in terms of just the club itself, it's incredible. So props to them.
By the way, I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but I was talking to a spectator, and they said tickets were selling for $300 for Sunday. They were all sold out, or maybe Saturday or Sunday. And to me, that's pretty high, isn't it, for a pickleball event?
I would be curious. Maybe that's on the secondary market because they sold out. I don't know, but I know that they will obviously release the numbers. They usually release it about a week after.
So I know I was talking to ticketing, and they said that this was by far their best event this year.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, Austin, I think every event has been up from the previous year. Or, Austin, they compared Austin to Phoenix last year because it was the fourth event, and it was up a ton compared to Phoenix. I know that St. Louis was only slightly up, but it was still up in terms of sales. I think every single event, Dallas was way up. Dallas, I think, was almost broke a record. I think Dallas.
So I was talking to ticketing, and if you had to guess, like, a percentage, how much percentage increase from last year do you think these events are doing? Is it 10%, 20%, 50%, 100%, 200%?
Yeah, I've seen the numbers. Like, I know St. Louis was only like 3 to 10%, but everything else has been 100+%, right?
Yeah, I was talking to ticketing, and they said every event is over 100%, over double what they did last year.
Yeah, which is insane. I mean, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if they can stay on the same trajectory, that's impressive.
Yeah,
and so with that being said, we need bigger venues.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely, but you have to grow slow, because last thing you want is an empty venue, right? Like,
yes, yeah.
Like, we love St. Louis. St. Louis is cool. Obviously, there's things that need to be worked out. We love the basketball arena, but it's got to be full. Like, it's not a great look when it's empty. Maybe we're not quite there yet, but again, like, if you have the opportunity
smaller venues, event centers that PPA or MLP can go to. I mean, you don't have to go to these massive D1 basketball arenas.
For sure. Well, and I think that's what people are going to realize in Orlando. So the ESPN Wide World of Sports, it's in the arena, but they're smaller arenas. They're probably 2,500 seat arenas.
Yeah.
And so I think that'll be cool, because you can put the courts down on the floor. It gives you that arena feel, but they're much, much smaller.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
All right. So, I mean, we'll get into this obviously a little bit more. Venue, I thought, honestly, was good. The atmosphere was great. It looked good. The setup was also really good. They had a bar. It was cool. All right.
Drink.
JD, he posted during MLP that he was leaving towards APP in September. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, look, Jay Devilliers, we kind of called this. We called this a while ago. We knew it was coming. Um, there's a couple of interesting, things that are happening. One of
Real
them
quick, the
being,
timing
yeah,
of
I
when he
mean, look,
posted that.
yeah, I mean, I think part of it is just a matter of, he's excited. Maybe he just came to the deal. Also, Casey Diamond was literally announced 10 minutes before, or 30 minutes before of going from APP to PPA. And so it makes me wonder if maybe APP was trying to fire back and ask Jay to post it.
Yeah.
Um, and Connor Pardo tweeted out something about it's great to have like a top player from the APP coming over, and so it could have been like the APP. It feels like it could have been like
Who-
the APP's answer.
Who's better looking, Jay or Casey?
I mean, it's close. They're both handsome guys, but I mean, Jay's a married man with kids, so I'm gonna go with Jay because the stories I've heard about Casey are rough. I mean, yeah. The other thing that I will say is, um, it is interesting, but there's more coming. Like for those that don't know, we've talked about this. There are more coming, and
Which
there's a lot
way?
of well, there's just players that didn't take that contract, right? They didn't re-sign, and PPA is going to move on from them, right? Now, Jay's a tough one because he's playing well. He's still relatively young, but I expect others, Tyler, to follow. I expect the Deco Bars. I expect possibly a Tina Pisnik, a Callie Smith. I maybe Jesse Irvin. I don't know anything for sure on any of these. I don't know what their contract negotiations, Colin Johns, but I do expect a few others to follow and to head to the APP. It just feels like there's a little bit of a changing of the guard happening right now at PPA, and PPA is just not going to spend the money and invest in some of these older players that are kind of aging out a little bit and have had. Now Tina still had incredible results, by the way. She's went undefeated this weekend.
So the
Um,
craziest thing, I've been talking
yeah,
to a lot of players about this same topic, and Tina Pisnik, I mean, she's old, she's 45, but
yeah,
she is still currently this day, she is top 10 in both women's doubles and mixed doubles. That's insane.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Like
that's
that
incredible.
is that is incredible.
Yeah, she's. I mean, Tina is.
And
She's
so
still
say
getting.
say whatever you want about age or being washed up or whatever it is. I mean, I've heard everything about all these players, and yet she is still currently, this day, the day that we're recording this, she is still top 10 in two events. In the two events she does.
Yeah, and honestly, she just went undefeated in MLP St. Pete. She just beat Kate Fahey and Anna Bright
Yeah.
11-2, and then she beat Jackie and Rachel 11-3.
Yeah.
And she did
So,
it with a Vulcan paddle, by the way.
yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is, yeah, she's playing awesome. Like, I, if you sign Tina Pisnik to a 2-year deal, I don't think that hurts you if you're PPA. I mean, she's still at the top of her game. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I do think we're gonna see more. We're gonna. I mean, is it a fair trade? Is Casey Diamond for Jay Devilliers? Who won that deal? Who wins that? In your opinion, does APP win that or did PPA win that?
America wins.
Well, yeah, America runs on Duncan, but it's an interesting. I don't know, but it's gonna happen more. We're gonna see different. The rosters are gonna change for both.
Is Casey misogynistic?
Not as misogynistic as Jay, although I did hear that Casey was dating Sophia while Sophia was dating somebody else. And so yeah, I mean that's a odd yeah. That that's an interesting there's a new show on Bravo, it's on Bravo or WeTV or something called Polyamory or Polyamorous or something. So maybe they were auditioning for that show. I don't know. It comes on right after Love After Lockup. That's how I know. Big Love After
All
Lockup
right.
guy.
So as much as we enjoy talking about him, we'll talk about him more. Give us the breakdown. What happened with Casey Diamond this
Yeah.
past weekend?
So So every event has an on-site sub, okay? And what they do is they're unsigned. They're players that are not currently on teams, but they are signed to PPA MLP. And the on-site subs were Stefan Auvernay, the most interesting man in the world. If you've ever looked at that guy's bio, it's incredible. Everything from one of the top video gamers in the world to like insane fitness. Anyways, and then Gio Morelli, who I believe Gio lives in the Tampa area. And is dating Chris Crouch, I think. Anyways,
who's Stefan dating?
Stefan, I think he's married. No, he's not, because I heard Stefan's parents wanted him to date Lena. I've heard that. I don't know if that's true. Anyways, maybe he's married. Anyways, point is they were the on-site subs. So Deckel plays phenomenal on Wednesday. Remember, this started Wednesday because they only had one court. So Deckel played phenomenal on Wednesday. Palm Beach goes, I believe, 2-0. I think they beat the Ranchers and they beat Miami, maybe. I don't have it. I'm going to guess on that. Anyways, so he played well. I actually was messaging with Deckel a little bit. Thought he played great. And then Tyson actually sprained his ankle in a match.
Rolled the ankle.
Rolled it. And it was legit.
Continues to play and also plays the next day.
Yeah.
And then the following day,
he sat. Yeah. But the next day, the next day, Deckel pulls out with an injury. I don't know what it is, an undisclosed injury. And so normally in that situation, Grayson Golden would step in, right?
Who was their third player on the team.
Who was their third player. And he did, just to be clear, the first day. And he didn't play well. I mean, can we call it what it is? he didn't play great. And so the second day, Grayson somehow miraculously also comes out with an injury. And Casey Diamond miraculously that morning signs a UPA deal. It's Casey Diamond, who, just for those that don't know, is dating Sophia Seving and is her normal mixed partner on the APP tour. So now all of a sudden, Deckel is out with an injury. Tyson's on a bad ankle. But Grayson Golden, who, for all we know, seemed fine. I mean, I have video and pictures of him literally playing that next day. And rumors are he was telling people he's fine, is told essentially that he's injured. And so he ends up getting benched due to injury, and Casey steps in. Because had Grayson been healthy, Casey would not have been able to play, because that's why you have extra players this year. So now we have Casey and Tyson, and their first men's match, they lose 11-0, by the way.
0-11, yes.
0-11. But then he steps up. They win a big mixed match. He actually plays very well for Palm Beach. And they allowed him to play, but now there is precedent from the league. Let me just be very clear. There is precedent from the league for this to happen. The league is, Ross Whitaker has done it before. There's been players that have been signed. You know, I don't feel like this is a league issue, just to be very clear. I don't think the league can go to every single player that's sitting out and be like questioning their injury. Although we will talk about that a little bit later, because Austin, there's a lot of questioning happening. But questioning their injury, if a team says a player is injured, I mean, it feels like the league almost has to take their word for it. So I don't really blame the league on this, to be clear. However, Palm Beach, if Grayson is truly not injured, and they can't prove that Grayson was injured, and Grayson has told people he was warming up, Tyler. There's video of him the day that he was allegedly injured playing. Okay? He was allegedly telling people that he was asked to sit out and that he's not injured. Again, none of this I heard directly. It's all rumor. But if that is the case, do you not have to drop the hammer on Palm Beach? Like a massive fine? Is that not? I mean, that is as shady as it gets, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, the narrative around it all seems very suspect.
Yeah, the narrative around it is that they brought in Casey to essentially play with Sophia, and they realized they couldn't do it because Grayson was healthy, and so they put Grayson on the shelf. Basically told him, just kidding. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting for those that don't know. The waiver wire, there's a waiver wire today. Casey Diamond goes back into the pool. Okay? So now you have to bid to pick up players off the waiver wire. The question is, does Palm Beach go after Casey Diamond and place a bid here and then drops Grayson Golden for Casey Diamond? Or does Palm Beach...
I heard a crazy thing that maybe Grayson gets put on IR, maybe, and then they pick up Casey.
Now, if they put him on IR, they don't have to go through the waiver process.
Exactly.
And they can just pick him up. If that's the case, honestly, that would be one of the more incredible things, especially if Grayson's not hurt, because what that does is Grayson actually becomes ineligible to play. So not only are you hurting Grayson's chances, like he can't play for anybody else. And you can't tell me a guy with his singles ability wouldn't be a help to a few teams out there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's very interesting to see what's going to happen. I guess
it sounds quite political.
Yeah, I mean, when you pay $15 million
Pickleball
for your team, you can make the rules. I guess I don't know. You make your own rules. I don't know. Brian Levine has something to do with Palm Beach, and he's on the board of UPA. I mean,
I did see him there. We were checking in the hotel at the same time.
Were you? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's got a little more pool. I actually don't know, Tyler, but it's an interesting. It creates a good storyline. It creates drama. I don't think Casey playing for Palm Beach, assuming Grayson's injured and Deckel's injured, like the Casey for Stefan thing doesn't bother me at all. Casey over Stefan, if they signed him that morning, that really doesn't. What the question is Grayson Golden truly injured? And if he's not, and that reflects poorly on Palm Beach, to be honest. Like the kid got a shot, he didn't play great, and then you essentially, if this is true, you essentially bench him right after. What kind of organization are you? Like, who wants to go play for an organization that does shit like that? It's shady. It's not cool. It's truly, I mean, nobody wants to play for teams like that are going to cast you away as soon as you have one bad game. Now, again, if Grayson is hurt and he's truly hurt, then this is much ado about nothing, and we're speculating for no reason.
Well, I know he's going to Tokyo next week, so he better get feeling better if he is sick.
Yeah. So based on everything we've heard, he's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an interesting situation. Yeah, let's talk St. Pete a little bit, because Palm Beach did, in their defense, I believe I predicted Palm Beach to finish what? Dead last there.
Maybe.
And they finished great. They did great. I think they played in the 2 spot. They lost, but I thought they played very well. Tina Pisnik and Sophia went undefeated. Tyson McGuffin, Tyler, he was great. He looked like the old Tyson. He would look like the most electrifying man in sports. He was his self. He was loud. He was pumping up the crowd. He was winning hands battles. The Ferrari forehand was feeling good. Like I hate to give the guy his flowers because he's so weird, but Tyson was incredible. Like I have to give him props. Sophia's been better than advertised. I think Tina erases a lot of her mistakes. I think Tina's playing the best of her career right now, which, you know, like you said, she's top 10 in women's and mixed. Like
in two events.
Yeah, I mean, she's incredible. Deckel was, you know, one of the top rated players in Austin, and Deckel the first day was great.
Yeah.
So those guys turned back the clock a little bit. They played well. They battled through some real injuries and some questionable injuries, but at the end of the day, even Casey Diamond showed out and mixed, and props to them for pulling out the, you know, finishing that 2 spot.
Yeah. Now on final Sunday, super final Sunday, they did end up losing, right? So they got
so they ended up
is that correct?
4. Yep, exactly. Yeah. So the other thing I was going to say is let's talk about St. Louis. Okay. I think that it's time to have the conversation. Does LA need to make a move? Because they've been blasted by St. Louis twice in a row. Now look, I'm gonna talk about hindsight is always 2020. I don't ever want to question decisions, but you cannot leave Ben Johns on the bench. You can't go through a match, get swept 3-0, and Ben Johns never plays his mixed match. That was a crucial, massive mistake by LA. I don't care if St. Louis flipped it and they put Gabe and Kate. Then you throw Ben against Gabe and Kate. Because you cannot go through a match and not have Ben Johns play. That's such a huge, huge error by LA. He's the best player in the world. And you freaking never get him off the bench. Like, talk about being outsmarted by your opponent. I think that's
by Ross Chaffetz.
By Anna Bright. I'm going to say that's an Anna Bright decision. No way Ross made that. Maybe Rich. But yeah, I mean, it's just an incredible. It was just an incredible tactical error by LA. LA has now lost twice.
So we've talked about this before last year, I believe, and I do agree with you. The only counter argument to that is that if you are in that 1-2 situation or 2-1 situation, you might want Ben to either come back or close it out.
I don't disagree, but you risk him never playing, never getting off the bench.
Yes.
And so I get hindsight's always 2020. And had they won men's, then you have Ben coming in to close it out. And I get that. I get that St. Louis flopped their mixed pairs and they put Gabe and Kate out as opposed to Anna and Hayden. But they did that for a reason, and it worked.
Yeah.
Like, it worked. They got you to push Ben to the 4 spot. It's the same thing as these people that overthink the Dream Breakers, right? Which, speaking of that, Tyler, well, let's discuss this. Let's not forget to discuss Anna Bright's Dream Breaker proposal. I don't know if you've seen this.
I have not. What is it?
So Anna Bright...
Have the GMs play against each other?
She has a proposal where one team chooses the order of the Dream Breaker, and then the next team gets to choose the opponent. So, for example, if you choose, to go for your team, we'll just say LA versus St. Louis. If LA chooses to go Ben, Max, Jade, and Catherine, for example, then they get to choose the order. Wait, is that how she did it? I can't remember. Yes. Then the other team,
so she would be
choose the matchup.
They would be saying when they go out.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And then they could choose the matchup. So, for example, LA could choose that they could have AB go out first. They could have Kate go second, Hayden go third, and Gabe go fourth. But then St. Louis could choose who AB faces, who Kate faces.
Isn't that how it already is?
No, because you don't get to choose who. The opposite team gets to choose who you send out.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
So St. Louis would get to choose who LA sends out.
Gotcha.
And she said what that does is it creates more balance to the women having more of a say in the Dream Breaker. Instead of the women going out third and fourth, if you decide to throw Annalie out first, the other team can be like, okay, are we going to match her with another girl or are we going to throw out Ben? And you get to choose who she like what order she goes in. Anyways, it's just a little bit of a twist. And I didn't hate the idea, but it does feel it does start to feel a little bit circusy. Quirky. Yeah. And you probably create more guy versus girl matchups, and which I think people love to see it, but the results are generally favorable to the men. Unfortunately, whatever. So anyways, St. Pete, St. Louis won another one. It feels like Brooklyn is, a step below LA. Now look, they got swept, but they had 4 matches or 3 of their games. 12-10, 13-11, 13-11. Might have been the closest 4-game sweep in history. So that's kind of an interesting situation. Do you make a move if you're Brooklyn? Are you happy with how things are going? Rachel seemed a little bit hampered with the hammy, but they haven't really been able to hang with LA. They're going to get the fives this weekend. We'll
Bobby
kind of
was
see.
there, and he was wearing some awesome outfits. But when they were playing, I feel like there was multiple Bobbies, and anytime they said, "Here we go, Rachel! Here we go, Rachel!" It just sounds all too familiar.
Did you have was everybody doing it now? Did we get
A
everybody
lot of
going?
people were doing it, which I mean, it's a common thing to say. Here we go, somebody, but the way the name is pronunciated
Here we go,
is great.
Rachel. Here we go, Jay. Actually, now it's
Exactly.
here we go, Jackie. Yeah, he was fishing.
By the,
So yeah,
by the
I
way, I was
mean,
talking to go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, it just feels like there's right now, LA needs to probably make a little bit of a move. I think Max Freeman got exposed a bit. It feels like it's a two-horse race between the fives and the shock right now, and just a little bit of a notch below. I think LA's close, but losing two times in a row to the shock and scoring like 10 total points is tough. So I'm going to knock them down
Didn't
to
they
that third.
drop down to number four? Didn't drops drop down to number four in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
standings?
yeah, I believe so. And then I Columbus hasn't looked as good, but last year they didn't look great, and then they turned it on in the playoffs. And then I'm going to put Brooklyn at five, but I think it's right now the shock and the five seem to be heavy favorites.
Once
So
again, I'll say this, but on paper, you would still think the Shock are far favored than the Fives on paper.
they should be, and we haven't really seen them. They played once on a Sunday. They both were playing for the three. It was two, the number two matchup, and the Shock ended
Yeah.
up beating them, right? In that 3-4. And so, yeah, you would think that the Shock, I mean, the Shock are turning it on. Maybe look, I reverse jinxed them. I'm really good at that. But they're playing very well right now. So we do have a couple of topics. You go ahead.
I was just going to say a little bit in that same breath. I'm sure you saw Eric Lang's tweet. It
Yes.
said, if an MLP team has an active rostered player submitting daily match lineups, what are they even doing? It's so hard to be impartial. Can you dumb that down for us? What does he mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's MLP is weird right now. It's interesting. It's in its infancy. So there's a lot of odd things that are happening. There's a lot of and this might get me in trouble, but whatever. There's a lot of what's the word? Lines that are blurred. I mean, look, we have Chris Patrick has been helping with Vegas, right? Chris Patrick literally, and I know he has a new role, but at one point, Chris Patrick was literally signing players.
Yeah.
Like that was his job. And he's helping with the team. Like that feels like it's a little bit of a conflict of interest. I mean, Connor Pardo, the Pardo family owns the Utah Black Diamonds, right? I mean, imagine if Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, owned the Miami Heat. They're going to win the draft lottery every year, right? Well, and I'm not saying that Connor Pardo is doing anything wrong. I'm just saying that optics aren't great, right? And then we have this weird thing where, for example, the Chicago Slice, the Saslow family, they used to be very, very active. I haven't seen them at all this year. And it feels like Zane Navertil is running that team and he is making the lineups. And he should probably bench himself. He's been ass. But is he ever going to bench himself? No. Travis Rettenmeyer he's running basically Florida. And he's a player. Brandon French, he sets the lineups for Carolina. He's a player. And it just feels like, can you be unbiased in setting your lineups? And are you doing truly what's best for the team when you have a player setting the lineups? Right? Now, can players give input? Is there a captain that can give input? Sure. But when there's no coach, no GM, no front office type of situation, it does make it tough. I mean, you guys didn't have a single person on your bench all week.
Yeah.
Who set your lineups?
The team captain, and they confirm it with the owners, I believe.
Yeah. So same thing. Now there's the flip side to this, which is a funny story I do want to laugh about. So Columbus Sliders, we played them in Austin, okay? And we go to a Dream Breaker, and Fern, who's the GM, I think he's the GM. Is that his title? He gets on the phone. And he's on the phone, and they have a coach there, Coach Pop, and they have Fern, and they have this other lady, Catherine Caroline.
Yeah.
I don't know her name. Anyways,
Caroline, I believe.
Caroline. So they have a whole squad there, and Fern has to get on the phone after the match, like before the Dream Breaker, to get what the Dream Breaker lineup is from the owner, David Cass. He does not have any power to set his own Dream Breaker lineup. And the crazy thing is we all knew what it was. It was going to be Alex Crum, Deescu, Judith Castillo, and then Danielle Townsend. Like, it wasn't hard to figure out what their Dream Breaker lineup was going to be. And here's the craziest part. They didn't even react, Tyler. They had to set it first. And he didn't even know it. And then
you can never be too sure.
Yeah, and then you have to call the owner. Like, one, that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for him. It's embarrassing for the Sliders. Like,
did he have an old school cell phone?
Seriously, he pulled out the flip phone. Like, what kind of organization are we running here? The second thing is it's just embarrassing for the league. Like, the GM has to call to set his lineup. You can't empower your coach and GM to set your freaking Dream Breaker lineup. That's the other thing. Third, I thought there was no cell phone on the sideline rule. And you know what else? The other funny thing, he had his cell phone out earlier in the match. You know why? And he got in trouble for it because he was tracking CJ Klinger's DoorDash order. And he had to go pick up CJ's DoorDash.
Priorities, man.
I mean, that's probably
his Powerade and Chipotle order.
I mean, I feel like that's probably more of a better reason than having to call to get your Dream Breaker lineup. I mean, it's just so yeah. I mean, we just have these weird quirks that are still happening. Which again, it's a new league. It's in its infancy. You have insane organizations like the Texas Ranchers who have a whole freaking squad, an entire support staff. You have Brooklyn who has an entire support staff and a team doctor. And every
Ranchers love their volleyball.
Yeah, let's stay away from volleyball with our players. It's also crazy though to have I don't know if like Brooklyn is part of their like contract, but every interview Brooklyn's like, and our doctor. Is there like you got to give the doctor a shout out? It's weird. It's really weird. Also, if you're the team doctor and Hannah Blatt, this is just a question, and Hannah Blatt wants treatment, are you like, yo, let me check with the starters first? Like, should you give up your spot in the training room if a starter comes in? Because nobody spends more time in the training room than Yates Johnson, and he hasn't seen the court all yet. So should Yates Johnson give up his spot? But I think that's a fair question. If Fed walks in, should Yates get up off that table?
It's a very fair question, but
should he get out of the ice bath?
All athletes are treated the same. I mean, should they be treated the same? Is a golf athlete, is a tennis player in college the same as a basketball player? They're both college athletes.
Yeah, technically, but one of them actually produces revenue and one costs you revenue. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. So yeah, anyways, it's a weird thing. I think I don't love players setting the lineups. I don't mind their input, but like the way you guys do it is probably,
But on the flip side, I will say that a lot of players, to be honest, and Eric Lang, he has played with these players, so he's probably a little bit different. But there's a lot of players that they know the chemistry better than the owners, better than the GMs. They know who goes well.
Yeah.
So
I don't disagree with that. And I think one of Eric's complaints was that there's good players. There's players setting lineups that are struggling, and they're not making any changes. I mean,
yeah, that's fine.
But obviously, that's only going to help the shock, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if they play poorly, it's only going to help the shock. But yeah. So moving on, Tyler. One other thing I wanted to discuss is well, two things. One, Dream Breakers. Did we oversell the single specialist when we had the draft this year? And what I mean by that is in years past, it's been around 24 to 25% of all matches have gone to Dream Breakers, thanks to Eric Tyson.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
Yeah.
now it's down to like 13%.
I saw that.
13%. There were 2 Dream Breakers the entire weekend in St. Pete. So did we oversell that? Would you rather have a single specialist, or is it better to just have a freaking sub? Because we're getting into the Stephans, we're getting into the Casey Diamonds, we're getting into, people are going deep on the roster. We had Sella play for Lane Sleeth, right? We had Matt Barlow come in and play for Nico Acevedo, who Matt Barlow is the single specialist. And he looked lost in doubles. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And so did we oversell that? Were our teams better off just having a solid all-around sub as opposed to these single specialists?
In my opinion, yes. I think there's very few that would be truly considered a single specialist. Chris Hayworth, he is 100% a single specialist, but some of these other teams that drafted a single specialist, they're not really single specialists, nor are they even that good in doubles. And this was kind of the point that I was trying to make when I was throwing my big fit about some of these players that probably shouldn't have been drafted. These players were drafted as single specialists when in reality, they weren't really single specialists, nor were they good in doubles. And so, yes, I would agree with that statement. And like you said, there's only been 10 to 15% of games that are actually going to Dream Breakers. Obviously, that could change. I also saw a comment that I actually agree with, and everyone's like, we want Dream Breakers. We want Dream Breakers. They're entertaining. They're fun and everything like that. Have you seen a soccer game, dude? They're 0-0, 1-0, 2-0. I mean, soccer fans, they love that because there's so much that goes into scoring a goal that it makes it meaningful, that it makes it worth it. If Dream Breakers were to happen every single matchup, yeah, it's probably entertaining, but I don't know. I understand both sides.
They would lose their luster a little bit. But like we said, in years past, it was around 22 to 25%, and now we're at 13%. So the frequency has gone down a lot. It's interesting because the first event we saw St. Louis finish third and Fives finished fourth, right? And everybody was like, "Oh, we finally have some parity," and it's like the parity's kind of all gone away.
Yeah.
And that parity's not really there anymore. It's like we have the upper echelon, we have these middle of the pack teams, and then there's everybody else. It does feel like there's 5 teams and then everybody else. And It feels like the 2 of those 5 that are head and shoulders above everybody right now. And so, yeah, it makes you wonder, are you better off having a little bit of depth? Like, are you better off as a team having someone that's great at mixed, but maybe they don't play gender? Or are you better off having someone that can come in and, which you play mixed every event, right? Or you're better off as someone that can maybe come in at singles. Now, I'll give an example. Chris Hayworth obviously came in and he played pretty good doubles. Now, the first day he wasn't great. The second day he was good. He played pretty good doubles. I think he has potential, but they paid a lot of money for Hayworth. I know because I sold. But and then Alex Crum is like 13-3, his last 16 points in Dream Breakers.
Yeah.
Right. But say, LA, Max Freeman hasn't been great. Do you think LA wishes that they could bring someone in?
Well, don't they have Tardy or Gabe Joseph for their
That's
specialists?
what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, do you think they wish they could bring someone in off the bench to maybe play for Max Freeman?
Yeah.
As opposed to a Gabe Joseph who is strictly a singles guy?
Yeah.
Right.
And also hitting on that, and I get it, it's part of the game, but I've talked to many of these third players on the teams, and so many of them feel they feel worthless. They feel like it's a waste of time just following the team around, doing whatever. I can't tell you how many say they wish they were doing something else. I had a mom tell me that she wishes her daughter was on a like really bad team. At least she'd be playing. And I get both sides of the story, but it's a different dynamic for sure.
Yeah, and
Being
look,
that
I mean,
third
every
person.
team has bench players in every sport, and you got to earn the starting spot. But it's interesting. It's a new dynamic. It's not something that's most people are used to.
At least with the Bears, at least with your team, you're rotating at least call it 20 to 30%. There's some teams that aren't rotating at all. And so
Yeah,
for
so I
those
mean,
teams,
yeah, in Austin we played everybody,
yeah,
and
yeah.
we feel like we have a pretty good. Again, this is what I mean. James Delgado is a monster at mixed, right? He's solid at men's, but I think he's a much better mixed player. And so we've been playing him and Emma Nelson in mixed, and then we have our men, or Anwar and Joey, and then we have Sarah and Kiora in women's, and everybody's playing. And then
Yeah.
we've kind of and we feel like we have three really solid men and really solid women, and that's what I'm saying. Like there's other teams that now you look at Dallas, who just made a trade. They just traded for Alex Trong, which, by the way, this is another thing with MLP. This is Alex Chong's 5th team she's been on this year.
This year.
This year. She's been on a quarter.
Wait, where'd
So
you
she
start?
started the year in Bay Area. And then
Okay.
they traded her pre-draft to Miami.
Okay.
And then Miami ended up trading her to Columbus. And then
Columbus, yeah.
Columbus
Then
traded her to
Arizona.
Phoenix. And then Phoenix just traded her to Dallas.
Yeah.
But now look, now you have Dallas has Brooke, Buckner, Danielle, and Alex. I mean, I feel like you could rotate those three, or you could find Brooke can play in the Dream Breakers,
Yeah.
if needed, but also Brooke can play women's or mixed.
Yeah.
Alex can obviously play, and now you have versatility. And I think they would be smart to play all three.
Yeah.
Right? You're smart to play all three in some capacity. But yeah, there's a lot of teams that they just don't have that versatility at all.
Yeah.
And then other teams don't need it, right? St. Louis doesn't need it. Like LC's great, but LC is not going to crack the lineup over Kate and AB.
Yeah.
And JLG and LC unfortunately will get in when they get in, and it is what it is. But
anything else stand out to you in St. Pete?
no, I mean, I think St. Pete was great. I do think that, like I said, there's a waiver wire coming up, and then June 30th. So this is the last event before the trade deadline. I would expect a couple more deals to come down. Do the Fives make a deal? Does LA try to improve so they can catch the shock? Does Brooklyn make a deal? Are they missing that right side guy? And then you look at like Orlando. All right. Do they hold on to Fed, even though they can't keep him after this year? Do they hold on to Millie? I think there's a lot of teams that would love to have a Millie or a Lacey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even like the Ranchers, it's like Sella's great, but it feels like Sella was more of a vibes pickup. And so it's like,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you dealt with injuries. So now what do you do? Or Nico sat out for Miami. He sat out twice now.
When did he sit out?
He sat out for Miami on Championship Sunday.
That's right. Yeah.
Columbus. And then he just sat out again on Championship Sunday. So does Texas need to find a capable backup as opposed to a single specialist like Barlow?
Yeah.
I mean, I think those are interesting questions, and I think we're going to see some team dynamics change a little bit.
Gotcha. All right. Give us a quick preview on New York. It's Randall's. So that's this upcoming weekend.
Yeah. Back to 3 Mile Island. Wait, isn't 3 Mile Island like the radioactive one?
Sounds like it.
Tyler, by the way, there's a podcast with Vivian Glausman.
Oh yeah, she was calling you out.
Well, kind of. I watched it just to be clear, and it was nothing like that guy said. She said that I made a comment that said something like, "I hope Toast with Viv is going well because your career isn't." I feel like that's kind of funny. And I didn't hear her say nobody watches KOTC. I didn't hear any of that stuff. That's all I
Gotcha.
heard. She just said that she reposted it on Toast with Viv. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't think that's bad. I think I probably deserved whatever she said there, and I wasn't wrong. Like Toast with Viv is way better than her career.
Yeah.
I like Toast with Viv. Her career is irrelevant, so I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Anyways, yeah. So the big thing with this is we're missing a few teams in New York. Last year, Randall's Island was on the 4th
Oh,
of July.
you know who I was talking to? You know who I was talking to?
Who? Tyler? Who?
Kawamoto. Cindy
Oh, Cindy's the legend.
loves the pod. She wants her daughters to come onto the pod. Jackie and
They.
Jade.
I just want you to know that I have tried. I have tried ad nauseum, and I don't know. You know what's crazy is they've been on 2 pods that I remember. One of them was Mary Brasha's merry-go-round.
Uh-huh.
Everyone gets a ride. Everyone gets a turn. And then they went on Rick Whitskins. He had a he has a pod.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 that I can remember, and I can't get them to come on our pod.
Yeah.
I think they hate me. I thought we were friends, but I think they hate me.
So you know this, but we, mostly I, got in trouble for some of the titles we're using for these videos. What can we use for this video that will please the outside people, the higher ups?
How about $15 million? You make your own rules. Oh wait.
No, because then they'll say that's too much of a negative narrative.
How about royally out of control? Spineless commissioner.
All right.
Okay. Wait. Sorry. I just feel like those are the AI ones that you've been using, right? Like Samin
Like
says,
it.
like Simon says, but Samin says no.
Samin says the Royals are out of control.
Yeah. Samin says Royals own me. David
Oh,
Grossman makes his own rules. I don't know. How about diamond in the rough? Could be like a double entendre.
all right.
All right.
New
Anyways,
York.
New York. Yeah, look, New York. We've got a few different. We've got Carolina, Palm Beach, Dallas, Florida, Chicago, SoCal, Vegas, Ranchers, Brooklyn, Bay Area, the Fives. So I'll be honest. It feels like a pretty winnable bracket.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, if you had to put money on it right now, I'd say most people would probably project a Brooklyn versus Fives final championship. What do you think, Tyler?
I would agree. Yeah, I think Fives are heavy favorites, and then also Brooklyn would be
Yeah.
playing in the finals.
So group. Wait, why don't they have the groups on here?
This will be outdoors. It's kind of outside the city, right?
Yeah. So it's in Brooklyn. You have to. It's really on an island. You have to get to the island over the bridge, and there's like one way in and one way out, and you kind of have to Uber there.
I heard the actual venue is actually fairly nice, but once again, the atmosphere, the environment around it is maybe not the best. I heard there's like some smells, like some sewer stuff, like
Yeah. So
really close
last year it
by.
was kind of added late, and so I don't think they had enough time to market it. I will say that it is a cool venue and it's a cool location. So if you get a chance, like go out, use our code, our link. We don't have a code anymore. Use our link, buy tickets.
Link. Click that link.
We have to give props to, I mean, MLP ticketing, Danielle and Jeff are freaking incredible. Love them. So go out and definitely use our link. We'll post it. and go check out Randall's Island. Go check out all the MLPs, but Randall's Island is a cool one. Group A, Tyler, is the Slice, the Night Owls, the Five, SoCal, and the Ranchers. I mean, on paper, you would think it's going to be the Fives would win that. The two, I mean, the two could be anybody if Lane is still hurt, if Nico's still hurt.
Yeah.
You would assume the Ranchers, but if one of them is hurt, it wouldn't shock me if Vegas finished second. And then even the Slice or Ranchers are fourth or fifth. And then, or SoCal. I mean, SoCal played very well in Austin.
Yeah.
And then the other side of it, we have Brooklyn, the Royals, the Flash, the new look Flash, the Hogs, Bay Area, and the Smash. So again, I would assume Brooklyn would be at the top of that. And then it's probably Flash and Royals. And then I'd probably go Smash, Bay Area, and Hogs at the bottom.
Okay.
And so I would expect a Brooklyn versus Fives final.
I would also agree.
New Jersey
with that.
versus New York in New York.
Will Gary V be out there in full force?
I would assume he's going to come out and show out. I don't know. I would assume he is. Also, do you like my hat? Guess who gave this to me?
What is that? Oh, what? What is it?
11. Oh.
Is it a gang sign?
It's Camilla
11-0?
Zilvetti. Yeah, Camilla and Brian.
Hey, congrats to Brian for buying Silvetti.com.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Camilla at Zilvetti.com. How much do you think that cost?
I think we can find out, but I bet it was quite a bit.
Do you see the ad on X all the time? I think it's what's homeboy's name? Serena Williams' husband.
I forget his name. Yeah.
He's like, we finally bought whatever, some domain. I can't remember what domain it was, and it's like an ad on X. And I don't know why, but that's what I think.
Dude, I went through this phase where I just started buying a bunch of different pickleball domains, hoping that somebody might buy them from me. And so I have probably, honestly, 10 to 15 different pickleball domains that are just
pickleball
chilling.
On X? Oh, wait, that's the Dink. The Dink went
no
pickleball.
But I have pickleballrumors.com.
Yeah, that's a good one. I actually have a neighbor that whenever he had a child, and they have lots of children, like literally the day they were born, he went and got their name at gmail.com and like reserved it for them when they got older.
Oh man, good stuff. All right, so we don't have we're going to wrap up here soon. Anything else you want to cover real quick?
No, I mean, like I said, I think MLP St. Pete was great. Good matches. I think overall the product is getting better and better. I think the atmosphere is good. It's exciting. Yeah, and I'm excited to see what happens. I think this week is good. I actually enjoy seeing some of the, I don't want to use the word lesser because the Bears are part of that, but some of the like less popular teams playing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Bears have only been on freaking center court 3 out of like 11 matches, by the way, this season. So it would be nice if we got a little more center court time, because we're exciting. And some of these teams that aren't are exciting. Armand Bhatia is exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Right? Will McKinnon and Kaylin Campbell have played well. The Smash women, Zoe and Martina, they've been incredible.
Yeah.
Like, give some of these guys a little more center court time. That's all.
All right, so we did not have time to post any of the questions, so we apologize for that. However, if you stay for All Access, if you are a member in All Access, we are going to answer some of those questions right now. Next week, both of us should be in Utah, so we'll be able to do one of these in person and hopefully get to a little bit more than this week. If you guys have made it this far, thank you for supporting us. Go check out our sponsors at Club Pickleball Mastermind. If you want to maximize your revenue, minimize your expenses, Pickler Universe, August 7th through the 9th is the next event at their Carrollton location. DominatorHoop.com, use code KOTC, and also, of course, All Access, where you guys get to discuss with us and ask us
Tyler,
questions.
are you in a
All right.
Marriott?
Yes.
I can tell.
How can you tell? The lights?
Yeah. Absolutely. It looks good.